Welcome to Squad. It is so good to be back right here with the whole family to bring you what we love the most, and that's mostly embracing playing together and discussing the topics affecting our community. We have a jam-packed show, so why don't I give you a quick rundown on what you should expect. We have Marissa, Roberto, and Brody Moore who will be taking their takes on the latest stories in Unmuted, as well as Lisa Dwan and Matt Hempstead is going to be giving us a breakdown on everything League of Legends and esports in 30. But first up, let me get you caught up on all the news. It's been 2 weeks since BioWare's Anthem launched, and to say it has some issues would be a bit of an understatement. Coverage of the multiplayer loot shooter has been dominated by problems, ranging from the strange release schedule to the ridiculous number of loading screens. But Anthem's two newest problems are easily the biggest. First, PlayStation 4 players began reporting that Anthem would cause their consoles to crash and fail to turn on again. Many were afraid that this caused the consoles to brick, meaning they would never work again. But users discovered that by either unplugging and plugging a PlayStation 4 back in, or be rebuilding the console's entire database, the console would begin to work again. That's better than making a PlayStation 4 useless, but crashing consoles regularly is still a very bad bug. EA and BioWare have said that they were looking into the issue and a fix is coming soon. But just as it seems like they would get Anthem's issues under control, another issue came up that quickly overshadowed it. Reddit user Yeet Lord Supreme discovered that the first rifle players get in the game was the most powerful gun in the entire game. Players began to wonder if this meant that the damage numbers were lies or if the gun itself was bugged. BioWare have since confirmed that it is a bug and that a fix for it would arrive alongside the crash update. Judging from the past few weeks, however, I bet it won't be long before another issue overshadows Anthem once again. Elsewhere in the world of video games, Nintendo announced that it's getting in on the VR game with a surprising new accessory. Called the Nintendo Labo VR, this new VR headset will allow players to experience VR on the Nintendo Switch. That doesn't mean you'll be able to go and play Breath of the Wild in VR, which would be the best thing ever. It just lets you play certain Nintendo Labo games in VR mode, and the set itself comes with a blaster and goggles cardboard configuration. 2 additional expansion packs will be available at launch as well. The Nintendo Labo originally launched last April and let kids create robots, pianos, and other toys out of cardboard to play games with. The Nintendo Labo VR kit will cost $80 US and will release on April 12th. Honestly, this looks like it'll be worth trying out. I just really want Breath of the Wild VR in my life. Please, Nintendo, you gotta give me this at least. So pretty much Nintendo is just ripping off the Google Cardboard, and no one is really talking about that. So will Nintendo VR be a success? Yeah. The answer is yes, because everything they make is gold and everything else that is crap, we still buy it anyways. I'm just looking forward to Breath of the Wild, as I said a million times, and I want a Breath of the Wild VR where you could kind of do the little Korok dance, that'd be cool. Or even if they did an Ocarina of Time one where you have to do Ocarina Mastery classes, there's so much that Nintendo could do there, so I just don't know where to start. I want to know what you guys think on Twitter. Check us out at Squad State and let me know what you would be looking forward to for Nintendo's new VR. Now we have Unmuted coming up, but first, let's check out the plays of last week.
Everybody was hype in the audience. I know that we were hype backstage to watch you and Tran pull off an amazing Zarya Lucio play on Hollywood. It was so cool to watch. We actually have it up there on screen so you can watch it again. Can you just walk us through, like, who came up with that? Was it a coach? Was it you?
I think we actually saw it on someone else do it on Reddit first. And we just like, that, if we can pull that off in game, it's gonna be so cool. So we just went for it.
And now such an early stock, and Esam in firm control of this second game within 30 seconds, and he has him off stage. Oh my God!
On the jump with the skull bash. Who does that?
That was
that was incredible, dude.
just enough to cut off one on the retake, but the bomb already planted for Na'Vi, and they just have to hold it off. That's not hard. Flamey's got another. It's going to be extremely difficult if Simple can get around from Coffins without being spotted. Nubox is preoccupied. If he wraps in, they're both gone for an emo, and they're going to push it all together. Rain can't do enough. Just to Nico. Third in the world last year, but he's got it to a one-on-one. Bombs deep. He's got a swing. They know that. Flamey. What a pistol and ace.
They are actually able to snowball, and they've stopped making those mistakes that lost them a lot of the early leads.
Svenskeren just lost 80% of his health. Remember the drowsy was on him.
Have a nice day.
Here's your rune, here's your damage. There goes Sneaky. TSM finds another one for free.
Allowed to be on the flank, and that's actually great positioning by Note to deny the rockets so that Fusion's is safe. Sure.
Vision waiting for it, going in. Oh, and it got taken out. And that's a mid-air shot onto Kellex. Justice raining onto Boston, it looks like. That's going to be a double kill from Fleta's Far Ultimate and Soul Dynasty. That was convincing.
The upside does not come out. 35%, but one big burst option from Light is all he needs. One. Oh, yes! Right there. This is looking grim for our hero right now. Light has to get back on stage. The down tilt almost connects. Light has to find an opening. He gets the forward throw. He gets the back air. No double jump on Salem. Gets the directional air out. The forward smash. He's gonna take it. Game 5. Wow! Light defeats Salem. What?
Can he find any players down on the bench? Yes, he can. Alexi B caught napping. We're going to bullet perforating through his head. Now, this does give Liquid a chance. They do have control of the bomb, and Nap has found himself a kill on X7. We've got a round of it now, ladies and gentlemen. The bomb's going to get planted. And Ents have to try and retake. Nap going to take the risk of going into apps. He has struck once again. He's going to have to come out with a 1-on-2 clutch, plus an ace if he's going to pull this out the hat. Ents breathing down his neck, smoke to get deployed onto the site and try and skew the vision. Oh, what a flick off to Sergey that is! Now Nafly going to use that smoke to his advantage, just pulls back to the van. Waiting, anticipating an Alu push. He comes through the shadows! Oh, that's ineffable from Nafly!
Both towards this T1 tower. Smoke doesn't get popped just yet. Filipino Rules has found him. So he doesn't use the track, but they know that he's here. Out comes the Awkward as well, trying to see if they can stop him. They do get there. Oh, that was a massive ward block. They're going to be able to pick up Spicko here with the track. That ward block stopping him in the trees.
And that Awkward looking...
Can't stuck their way through. They're going to be closed in on this one. They jump down to try to go for the 2v1. They will be successful, but now it's a 2-on-2, and it's a fight from low.
And I don't believe we've seen such a 2v2 here with the zone going back and forth. So many buildings going on, and the circle is just getting smaller and smaller.
Rift to go being used, so they can try to maintain the second. Catches on to pretty much everyone here. Sap going to be on the low ground, though, by himself. Zay immediately dives through. The campfire, I believe, was used. You can see Zay trying to heal up as long as possible. Tomo has fallen. Tomo is not going to be able to survive.
All by his lonesome, and the Sentinel has been bested. Forest and meanwhile going to get flashback, able to at least take Glaive with him, but Rez, he's playing this one so slowly. He is waiting for as many terrorists to push past him as possible, but in doing so, he's baiting the rest of his teammates. Can he feasibly stop this from getting done? Oh, he picked up 2, looking for a third, lands it onto the bench as well. Can't get the fourth, as Magus does, but there's Forest. I thought Rez faded too hard, but he pulled.
Welcome to Unmuted. I'm your host, Marissa Roberto.
And so am I. I'm Brody Moore. Feels good to be back on the desk with you.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
JK.
JK, no, I mean, it feels pretty good to be back, but this is something brand new, so let's quickly run down how this little show is going to work.
Yes, one of us will present a topic, clips, tweet, or something we find interesting, then I'll lay down the line, tell you how it really is.
Yeah. He'll lay down the law. But one of us might get out of line, and then if that happens, we can push this lovely little mute button right here to get 30 seconds of sweet, sweet relief. Our first story of the day, let's put 2 minutes on the board, shall we, is about Shroud, specifically how the popular Twitch streamer is now the most subscribed to channel on the entire website. Over the weekend, Shroud surpassed 100,000 subs, which is more than double the next closer streamer, which is Tim the Tatman. So congratulations to Shroud, but how do you think he got this many subs, number one, and do you think his growth is sustainable?
Apex. That's straight. No, it's straight. That's what it is. It's Apex.
That's not how he got his initial start.
Oh, initial start? No. Well, he's a popular player. Of course, that's his start. But how he got this growth is because he's really freaking good at Apex. Like straight up. It's the same story with Ninja. He's got his Fortnite blew up Ninja. Ninja was already known. Ninja was already a thing. But Fortnite blew him up. Now Shroud's getting his rightful, deserving subs. He is amazing. He's probably one of the greatest FPS players out there.
Yeah.
And he deserves this.
Yeah, full on display. I freaking love Shroud. I love that he's Canadian. I love that he's he doesn't really have a shtick. He's not out there with whatever.
Yeah, he's so chill.
He's so chill. He's just being himself, and he's just that good at video games. He's been a pleasure for us to watch for many years now. I mean, when he retired from Cloud9 in that CSGO scene, I was so upset because I felt like he was just part of that team. I didn't want him to leave. And to say that he was going full-time streaming, it didn't make sense to me at the time. But now it does. Yo, this guy is making all kinds of bank. He's making the money.
Yeah, so on the question of is this sustainable?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
What?
It's Twitch. It's a fickle beast, man. Now, he'll always have his base. He kind of sits around 20 to 30,000 subs. Yeah. Just generally when he's doing his thing. This growth, we saw happen in Ninja too. It fell off eventually as people use their Twitch Prime subs and go somewhere else and give it to another streamer. It's inevitable, but I guarantee you Shroud knows that. He's not going to go out and suddenly start wasting all the money that he's going to get from this on things that he's going to have to afford later, like a car or a new house or anything.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be fine for a long time, and if he's a smart boy, I'm sure he invested that money too in something, possibly that we might see later on. But I do feel like I was surprised by the news that Ninja wasn't even up there in the running. I thought that is
surprising.
Right? I thought that he would be the next name on the list at least. But it just goes to show how the popularity of the mainstream can take one of these streamers and run with it, but that doesn't necessarily reflect their subs on Twitch.
Okay, shut up. 2 minutes is up. Next story. In a more shocking streaming news, a streamer in Fresno, California was actually nearly shot earlier this week. 5 bullets struck Eric Gann's house, and strangely, his MSI monitor actually blocked one of them. No one was injured in the shooting, and MSI has promised to send Gann a new monitor and some gear for his troubles. Give me your thoughts.
Oh my God.
That's nuts. This is so this is not the first time we've seen this. Dr. Disrespect had a similar situation not too long ago.
Which, of course, was not the first time we saw that. There's been so many little instances like this that I don't understand, how this even started. I don't get why people find this entertaining, that other people are getting shot at on stream just to, catch it on stream and be like, haha, that was me who set that up. That is so freaking evil. People could get seriously hurt. There might be children in some of these houses, too, just complete innocent bystanders that might get hurt from just being around these streamers that are just trying to live their lives and do their job. This is so freaking messed up. I can't even begin to understand or wrap my mind around someone who could be that freaking evil. I hate this.
Now, there is another side to taking precaution as a streamer. I totally forget who it was, but I was watching a clip on Twitter the other day where a stream was talking about when you get into streaming and your shtick, your gimmick isn't, being just good at the game or like Dr. Disrespect is a character, and you're putting your personality out there, you're putting who you are out into the public, you have to be aware now that you're going to run into situations where people aren't going to like you and you as a person. So if they see you in public or in these situations, they find out where you live, there might be someone to do that. So you have to be very careful as a streamer. It's even more so, your parents always taught you, never give away your address on the internet, to strangers. More so than ever now, as a streamer.
People have ways to search, and find out, IP addresses and find out exactly where you live. There's just a lot of evil and insidious behavior going on online, which totally sucks, and it's awful to even think about this stuff. But I don't imagine hating somebody that much, or imagine thinking this is such a good idea and spending your actual real life time that you could be focusing on, I don't know, improving your own life and having some kind of joy or finding joy in your day. But no, taking that time to go and hit on somebody else or make their life miserable in some way. I have no patience for these kinds of people. I just feel like these are the kind of people that are going to have absolutely garbage lives because they're wasting their time ruining others.
you can only hope that they end up living garbage lives.
I gotta brush this off. We gotta move on. Last week, Konami announced that it will be constructing a 12-story esports arena in Tokyo that will serve to promote esports in the country. The building will feature the arena itself, spaces for coaching, and retail. So, do you think that dedicated esports in Japan can work? And is Konami the best company to do this? I was kind of thrown off when it said Konami.
There's a lot to unload there. Yeah, first off, I guess Konami. We all know that Konami doesn't have the best relationship with gamers or hardcore gamers at this point.
Okay, take a step. Hold on.
No, they don't.
Brody, why? Why are you saying that?
There's so many issues. They've just been so disrespectful just to gamers in general. They're focusing on their Plinko games. That's what makes them money. That's fine. As a company, go ahead and do that.
Like that's a gross overassumption.
That is fine. But they've forgotten and they've just kind of thrown out all the people and the fans of them before. So for them to have
Is this because of Metal Gear?
No, it's more than just that. It's more than just that.
Okay.
And I love Kojima. But it's more than that. Sorry. So it's already weird, especially since they don't really have a foot in esports right now, right? That's a whole other story. It's like, why them? Now,
okay, well, like let's look at it from a business standpoint, from Konami's point of view. Yeah, they don't have a foothold or any kind of stronghold in esports at all, but they see that FIFA's doing well, and they do have their competitor in Pro Evolution Soccer, so maybe they want to throw that into the ring. They'll have an esports arena to do that, and to try it out in Japan. Like, these esports arenas are going to be popping up more and more. I kind of like seeing these big gaming publishers get involved.
It's a weird situation. I like it and I don't like it. Again, I don't like what?
Because you're a hater.
I guess, you know what? Yeah, I'm a hater.
I knew it.
I like the fact that esports is getting the support. It's amazing. Now, what I don't like is that it's coming from people, again, that are like, they see a buck, they want to jump in. Do they have any foundation?
Company, Brody. That's any company in this world. Yes, because what is their bottom line? It's the bottom line.
You got to make a dollar,
money.
but you got to get into it because you want it. You want, like, again, esports is built around grassroots. It's been built around community. And if a company just jumps in and starts trying to make bank off that, I think they're going to get called up quick. But at the same time, you know, it's cool to have that stuff. It's really tough.
Okay, that argument was weak, and you
You're
should be ashamed
weak.
of yourself.
Yo,
Continue.
tell us on Twitter how I'm right. Straight up.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, let us know how Brody's wrong in the chat, please. No, go ahead. We have another story. So let's go.
Oh, fine. For our last story, the Overwatch League experienced some slight technical issues over the weekend. Namely, an entire display screen went down. The Windows boot screen was up for nearly a minute before it was replaced by the Overwatch logo. Straight up with the Overwatch League. How the hell does this happen?
Honestly,
you're dying.
Like, whatever. I kind of love this stuff.
Yeah.
I love this stuff. I love when, like, big broadcasts have, like, a little glitch or whatever it is, and, like, or a camera catches somebody doing something they shouldn't be doing, like, just anything like that.
Here's someone walking through our shot.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes it so real, and it lets the audience understand that, hey, like, there are humans operating these things, and humans, well, we make mistakes. Just because it's a big budget production doesn't mean that these things can't happen.
Some of us more than others, Marissa. But no, for really, it's like on broadcasts, like YouTube, been a part of so many different broadcasts.
Yeah.
And it's like, no broadcast goes without a hitch, except for this one, because we're fantastic. But like, no esports broadcast goes perfect. Like, something's going to go wrong. So, you know, a minute is something. Now, if it was up there for an hour, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But like, a minute, a computer goes out, a wire just dies. That happens. You got to be lenient to it, right?
Yeah,
as long as people
sure.
aren't getting upset about any of this stuff.
No, it's just the best when, like, it happens and talent is like just on the desk or something, and they've got to find a way to tap dance and make it work. Like, I know this happened to you before, for sure, in Rocket League, where you just had to fill. It's like you and Lala or something.
I'm
and
calling out Marky Duda right now. Bro, Marky Duda had to take a piss in the middle of season 2. And he had to take a piss in the middle of it. I think we filled for, like, it was between 10 to 15 minutes or something. We just had to talk. They're like, yeah, Marky's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wasn't even peeing. He was just looking at himself in the mirror, like working on his eyebrow game.
Getting the eyebrows going?
Yeah, exactly.
No, straight up.
Oh, good times. That's just good times. Listen,
right.
I have no hate for that at all. I just love it. Bottom line, I love it.
Okay, so
I'm sure chat loved it too. I'm sure chat loved it too.
They did.
Right? That's the thing.
What's the biggest fluff you've seen, though?
I don't know. Whenever you're on camera. Usually. No, honestly, this kind of stuff happens all the time. It was me. I was on stage, and I called out a team to come out. I called it Optic, come out. It was a CSGO tournament, but they didn't hear me backstage, so it was just by myself on stage, and nobody was out there, and it was just an audience of people, and I had nothing. Like, it was crickets. I had nothing going on because I wasn't prepared. And you know what? That was a life lesson. It taught me to always be prepared in case things go in the toilet.
I try to teach you that every single day.
Okay, this is before I met you. Calm your tits.
All right, cool. Well, let's move on. Enough of us talking. We got, I think, some clips to look at. Every now and then there's a game that comes along that has streamers raging, and Pogo Stuck right now is that one. Even Melee Pro Ludwig couldn't avoid its wrath.
What the fuck is going on?
That's how you do it. Let's go, bois.
I honestly can't do anything but feel pain.
So that was 50 hours. That was 50 hours. And he was on top of the leaderboard. The game devs have confirmed that, of course, this was not supposed to happen. I don't know, if you haven't played this game before, it's just like he devoted a lot of freaking time. You have to bounce to get all the way up, and like that's how you win, basically, just spending all this time to get up on the leaderboard. So I'm assuming you've had a moment like this where you've just grinded, and then it all got taken away.
I mean, like, it's like when you try to play ranked tired and you lose like 2 divisions or two whole ranks. That's one of those. This is worse than that, though.
Yeah.
This is like you dedicated so much time to one thing. It's not like you split that time into multiple different achievements and accomplishments.
Yeah.
Everything into that one time. Oh, his scream said it all.
No, I know, because you don't feel like continuing after that. Like, do you ever want to go back to a game like that when you devoted so much time and then you get completely demolished?
Yeah, it was like the, I'm brain farting now, that one where you're in the pot and you're swinging your sledgehammer around
when you're in the pot?
Getting over it. That's another one of those that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
You get so far and you can fall right back to the beginning.
I experienced this recently, but it wasn't the game itself that glitched out. It was just the fact that I wasn't good enough. But I basically play a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon, whatever, on my classic on my phone, and I had to reach an objective, but I literally missed the objective. I lost by 3 people. You have to have guests in your park.
Yeah.
3 people? I devoted 3 years to this park? Well, not real time 3 years, but still.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what?
Not real time. It was like an hour, but still, I had to quit the game.
I'm still
and
giving Ludwig this is the worst and most frustrating gamer moment I've ever seen. Hands down, I'm giving it to him right now.
Okay, whatever.
He's winning it.
Top prize until you play it later tonight. Let's continue with the bad feels. This clip comes from streamer Hyubsama, who let his dirty laundry hang out for all of Twitch to see.
I kissed her. I kissed Tina 4 days ago. I'm sorry. Because I told you at that moment I was gonna No, please.
That's cheating. That's cheating.
I'm cheater.
That's cheating.
I'm sorry.
That's cheating.
Yo.
I couldn't even look at the screen.
Just got a sip of my tea
my cringe just tingles are going off.
Yo, okay, so he was criticized heavily because
no kidding.
Clearly, I mean, he cares more about viewers than his actual relationship, IRL. That hurt. That hurt to watch.
Yeah, I got so many problems with that. One, it's like, fine, go to the person and tell them, but don't put them on the spot in the public. That's not fair to them.
Oh my
gosh,
gosh,
they don't know that's happening.
That's like a straight up.
Now you're playing for viewers off of their emotions.
Yeah.
Off their. Oh.
No, but see, Kate, I just feel like, especially with these streamers too, there's so many young people watching, okay? Yeah. So they already, like, it's hard to take relationships seriously when you're young, but the fact that, like, these are people's feelings, and, like, maybe now other people have their camera out while they're, you know, breaking up with whoever it is or telling them that they cheated, like, that's not something that you should be doing in your relationships, number one. These are people's feelings, and that stuff really hurts. But from an outsider's perspective, I really love when couples fight.
I was watching you.
I watch that shit like crazy.
During this clip,
yeah.
I don't think you saw.
What?
But the whole time you had a smirk on your face with your mug just sipping your tea.
I was sipping my tea. Yo,
drama.
Because
fill me up.
Listen, I do, like, it feels bad if somebody's, like, legitimately getting hurt. Like, that sucks, for sure. And I don't know what kind of relationship they had outside of that. Like, we have no idea, right? But this is not, we can't understand all of the context. But I do, like, when couples fight, it's very entertaining.
Who knows? Maybe this was just to get him viewers. And
do you think so?
Likely not.
No, because he apparently tried to go in and delete the clip later because he was getting so much shit for it.
Well, no
but he couldn't. Like, he kept getting an error message when he was trying to delete it. So is that? Bitch. Yeah, is that karma?
I think it's straight up. Karma's like, I'm not doing anything today. I'm coming over to your place, Hyubsama, and I'm making sure you can't delete that clip. That's just brutal. Whether it's fake or not, it's like, I don't like that stuff.
Bad. Yo, like, oh, I'm sorry for that girl. Seriously.
I don't deal with drums.
But, like, yeah, more relationship drama on Twitch. Let's go.
On Twitch?
Anyway.
No.
What?
No.
Okay, let's move on. I've recently been rocking a new phone that tells me how much time I spend using social media apps. And guess what, Brody? It's alarming.
Okay, and why are you telling me this?
Just shut up, you mob! Okay, listen, anyway, it's messed up, but we spend so much time there because Twitter is sometimes a dark but mostly hilarious hole of deep and profound thoughts. If we're lucky, those profound thoughts are spiced up with a tasty meme.
Help?
Okay, you can talk now. No, you can talk, it's fine.
Oh, okay, I'm back. Gee, they actually muted me. Okay, can I just move on though and actually read the pro's tweet now, please?
Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you. Melee Professional Hugs has some decent advice. He tweets out, Twitter tip. If someone says some remotely dumbass shit on your post, check their profile. If they don't have an easily discernible picture of themselves or there's a bunch of anime titties everywhere, block them now and save yourself the future trouble.
Yeah, you know he speaks from experience.
Yo, how real is that though?
Yeah, that's just real life. Listen, there's a lot of haters everywhere. Number one, we've already discovered that today and every day of our lives on the internet. But people that I find troll me the most on Twitter are just like someone's name, no picture, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like some random account they made just to go and hate on other people because their lives are obviously miserable.
I'm calling.
You can look at yourself in the mirror.
I'm calling anybody out right now.
What?
In chat, on Twitter, wherever you are. If you have a picture of an anime anything, anything, I do like anime, but if your display picture is that, or some like model on a car or something, your opinion is invalid.
Well, like, why are you so afraid to show your face, though? Like, why are you scared?
Yeah,
like, you got something to say, like, come at me and say it with your face.
If you're talking crap, you do it to my face.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't hide behind anime titties.
Thank you. Well, or just, like you said, anime anything. Obviously, I do love Hugs so much. Like, I love when he tweets because it's usually something profound. So I feel like I'm going to take this advice and use it for my daily life.
Again, disclaimer.
No more anime photos, everybody, okay?
Disclaimer. I like cars, I like anime. I don't like your opinions.
Brody! Oh my god, shut up.
As I give my opinion.
Call me bro. Crimsix had some salt on certain playstyles recently. He says, not sure if anyone noticed this, but it's always the shitty players who go water on a Hacienda hardpoint, always trying to shoot players in the back or the side. That's why I go water.
I'm also going to call you out right now and say that she tried to bait me into that by scripting and saying that I went into the water too.
I thought you did.
No.
I thought you were a water goer.
I am a real professional player.
So is he.
And I'm great.
Are you serious?
I don't need cheap tactics like you.
Okay. Listen, whatever. Let's not make this about us.
Fight 1v1 me on the stream.
I do love his humor though. Like for Crimsix to tweet that, and I love like all the replies he gets from the scene. I just think it's funny when players call it other playstyles, but then like self-reflect.
Okay, you've been playing Clash a lot lately. Are there some cheap stuff that you've seen in there? You're like, bro, you're not a real player.
No.
Get out of here.
No, like if somebody's playing me with a card that I feel like, a hero that I feel like they definitely bought, Why are you beating me?
No, I'm just curious. I'm like, you're a professional player now. I want to see like what are some of the low-level tactics that people employ.
No, you can't really. There's only like 2 lanes. There's only like certain characters you can play with or certain cards you can deploy. And also like with your levels, you only play people at that level 2. And if they bought some cards, then you usually play against people that bought cards. It's pretty balanced. And you're trying to hate on Clash right now. Don't come at me with the Clash hate.
I'm just trying to see. I'm curious right now, which is why I'm going to ask everyone else too.
I love that we jumped from Call of Duty to Clash though, because those are similar.
Well, I was just curious. Anyone else? No, there's definitely cheap tactics in like any game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so make sure you let us either in the chat or on Twitter at Squad State. But let's dive into the mind of yet another Melee player, as of course they are the most profound on their thoughts on Twitter. Plus says, can't wait to win or get last place at Summit.
I think it was a typo because it's actually Plup.
Oh, is it Plup? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like,
who's Plus?
Who's Plus?
Yeah, Plup is jokes, but I do want to say that I did feel that tweet, and then of course I click on it and look underneath his replies, and somebody with an anime avatar replied, "You won't get last when M2K is there."
Bro, as I said, opinion invalid. M2K is still good.
I know, and you're immediately canceled with that avatar.
Get off M2K. He's still good.
M2K is still good.
He would still shred you.
Honestly, and all these kids with the hate, like, you would get shredded.
Don't even act.
You would get shredded.
No,
Ugh,
that's dumb. But at the same time, it's really that. So either you have a really good day, and you're like, now you're in top 8.
Yeah.
Well, I never was, but like, or you just drown in pools, which I always did. I'm still waiting for my good day. Okay.
You're too old now.
Huh?
You're too old. It's not going to work.
I'm never going to be old because I still browse dank memes.
Okay.
Speaking of, I brought some with me today. Getting into the mind of professional gamers is one thing, but I dove into the mind of the internet. It is time for memes. Marissa, now I know your hands cramp up a lot when you game a little too intensely, right?
Yeah, when I'm playing fighting games. Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to shoot.
Well, I'm going to try hurting your hands just by making you look at this next clip.
No. What?
Look it. It's the smallest PlayStation you've ever seen in your goddamn life.
Oh my god.
It's so adorable.
Cute.
Like I want to buy I want to get like a little gerbil and make them play it.
No, I would want a little dollhouse and then set up all these a little gaming station for my dolls. Oh my god, this is what I've been missing from my childhood, and this is why so many young girls didn't get into gaming when they were like my age and younger.
Because they didn't have tiny PlayStations?
No, because they didn't have, like, we played with dolls, right? Like when you're a girl and you're young, like you're kind of given like Barbies or whatever, and I had a dollhouse, but you know, games weren't always pushed on me. It was mostly just dolls. So if my dolls could have had gaming consoles, that would have been more relatable.
So like, would you be like playing with their hands, like making them press the buttons?
Yeah, well, I would just kind of like set up their home. Just shut up, Brody. Why are you making me do this?
I actually really want to know if that sound, the startup sound, is like small too. A little small sound.
I know,
like,
that's so cute. I want to see a little baby Nintendo console. I want to see a little baby Xbox.
Internet, get on it. For now, though, we've got to move on. I've got a lot of cool game stuff, or I've seen a lot of, cool game stuff turn IRL. Lately, the trend has been making things look like Switch, like TVs or carrying cases. And here's one of those.
Okay.
This one's courtesy of Squid 50s. It's a little carrying case made of Lego blocks, and it looks like a Switch.
Oh my god.
So my only issue.
No crafts, though. Crafts.
Crafts, bro.
I love crafts.
Yo, your dad had a legit craft.
Oh my god. Is this when I can show it?
It's almost like I put that there for you to show people.
Okay, I was wondering where you got this in, because I keep this in my office. But look, like, because my dad knows that I love Animal Crossing, he made me this little mailbox with a little indicator, except it doesn't light up, but still, like, how sweet. And I can open to retrieve my mail. You can't see inside, but still. Isn't it lovely? Crafts.
I like it.
Crafts. Shout out to my dad.
Yeah, that's legit.
I know.
Now you need to put you just need to RGB it to get it into this century.
Somehow.
Throw some RGB in the middle. Now it's a dance party in the mailbox. Yeah, no, I'm actually curious to see if you guys have done any I really want to see if you've done any cool craft stuff like that. Again, on our Twitter @SquadState, post pictures if you've done any cool crafts and stuff. Because I really love seeing these things.
This is like really hard to do. BT dubs.
Yeah, that's why I've never done anything like that. I want other people to show me their stuff so I can sort of feel involved in the world.
I'm just kind of impressed. He was so confused when I had requested it, because then I had to send him like little photos of Animal Crossing, like the mailboxes in Animal Crossing, just like something like it. So now, you know, people can leave me comments or questions or concerns.
You can leave your hate mail right there.
No hate mail.
IRL. All right, I got one more for you. Remember the days when your mom used to tell you to go outside and stop playing games, but you just sneak your Game Boy out anyways? This Safely Endangered comic is just like that.
Okay.
So if you see there, he's like, I gotta turn things around. You know, I'm gonna work out, get to the gym. Bro, get off our floor. We told you for the third time this week. Get out of here.
Aww.
That's real, though.
That's real, because that's my life and how I feel about the gym.
Same?
No, really.
No, we really need to get, like, I've been telling myself I'm gonna turn myself around here. So I've been doing like a couple sit-ups a day. I already feel better. No, I'm gonna have to get like a home
membership
set because I don't like going in public.
Why?
Because it's scary.
Are you scared?
And they don't have video games.
They don't have the comfort of video games. Listen, okay, whatever. You know what? This is a new show. We're meant to challenge each other, you know, but, mostly mentally. But I feel like we should challenge each other physically as well. So no, that also inspired me.
Are you threatening me?
Yeah.
With fisticuffs?
I mean, why not? Let's try to be fit. Let's try to be fit gamers. I'm seeing all these fit gamers just do their thing. Come on. We can do it. Together, Brody, and we'll eat healthy. Listen,
okay,
this guy literally, you come in every single day, you eat your effing breakfast, which is completely bad for you. You eat like Cheetos for breakfast, and then he eats Tums. Then he eats friggin' Tums.
Looks like a heartburn.
Yeah, Brody, you're
it's
way
not
too young for that.
easy living my lifestyle. Only real gamers can wake up with the Mountain Dew and Doritos and still succeed throughout their day.
No, that's messed up.
That's like not even an exaggeration.
And I don't even want to talk about like the evil that comes out of him after, but I share an office with him and it's not good.
Okay, enough of this.
No, seriously. No, let's get healthy together. That's what inspired us. First show, let's do this. I want you guys to challenge us as well in the chat. If you have any tips, tricks for Brody to have in the morning that doesn't give him just vile gas, that would be great.
Put a keyboard and mouse on a treadmill and maybe I'll be with you. But fortunately, I didn't do this yet. Okay. Shut up. We're done with here right now. Make sure, as I said, throughout this whole thing, hit us up on our socials at Squad State. That's everywhere you can find us. We want to hear from all of you guys, and we'll see you next time on Unmuted. But right now, it's back to Camille.
Talk about close calls. Like, when you see that picture, it's very frightening to know that that bullet was just an inch below his monitor, and if it was just a bit higher, we wouldn't have him here today. So thank goodness for the monitor, but thank goodness that he's here and safe and sound. The real question shouldn't be whether this monitor is like superhuman or super strength, but why is this stuff happening in our community? We have to spread lots of love, not hate. So remember, spread love. And you can actually spread love on our social media, Twitter and Instagram at Squad State, to voice off on some of the stories you heard in Unmuted and see some behind the scenes action. Now, we're gonna keep this thing going because we have eSports in 30, where League of Legends fans can rejoice, where Matt and Lisa are gonna be giving us an update on everything that's happening in LCS and LEC, as well as an interview with WildTurtle. But first, why don't I give you a refresher on the news? It's been 2 weeks since BioWare's Anthem launched, and to say it has some issues would be a bit of an understatement. Coverage of the multiplayer loot shooter has been dominated by problems, ranging from the strange release schedule to the ridiculous number of loading screens. But Anthem's two newest problems are easily the biggest. First, PlayStation 4 players began reporting that Anthem would cause their consoles to crash and fail to turn on again. Many were afraid that this caused the consoles to brick, meaning they would never work again. But users discovered that by either unplugging and plugging a PlayStation 4 back in, or be rebuilding the console's entire database, the console would begin to work again. That's better than making a PlayStation 4 useless, but crashing consoles regularly is still a very bad bug. EA and BioWare have said that they were looking into the issue and a fix is coming soon. But just as it seems like they would get Anthem's issues under control, another issue came up that quickly overshadowed it. Reddit user Yeet Lord Supreme discovered that the first rifle players get in the game was the most powerful gun in the entire game. Players began to wonder if this meant that the damage numbers were lies or if the gun itself was bugged. BioWare have since confirmed that it is a bug and that a fix for it would arrive alongside the crash update. Judging from the past few weeks, however, I bet it won't be long before another issue overshadows Anthem once again. Elsewhere in the world of video games, Nintendo announced that it's getting in on the VR game with a surprising new accessory. Called the Nintendo Labo VR, this new VR headset will allow players to experience VR on the Nintendo Switch. That doesn't mean you'll be able to go and play Breath of the Wild in VR, which would be the best thing ever. It just lets you play certain Nintendo Labo games in VR mode, and the set itself comes with a blaster and goggles cardboard configuration. 2 additional expansion packs will be available at launch as well. The Nintendo Labo originally launched last April and let kids create robots, pianos, and other toys out of cardboard to play games with. The Nintendo Labo VR kit will cost $80 US and will release on April 12th. Honestly, this looks like it'll be worth trying out. I just really want Breath of the Wild VR in my life. Please, Nintendo, you gotta give me this at least.
Hey guys, it's Lisa here, and welcome to eSports in 30. Today's Monday, which means League of Legends, and that means Matt Hempstead is joining me today to talk some League.
Hello.
Hey, so I think before we get into it, because we have a special guest joining us today, WildTurtle. If you follow her on our socials, it's not a secret. But we do have a big story to talk about first, so Matt, why don't you fill us in? What's going on?
Yeah, so I mean, G2's had some sketchy results lately. They lost this place and had a bloodbath game against Vitality, so it's a little interesting to see what's going on with them. Are they just, we're in playoffs, so we're just going to take it easy and try some new things, or what's going on? But apparently Mickey's been having a wrist and hand injury. So don't make the joke, please.
I'm not going to make the joke. Everyone in chat's going to make the joke. I'm not going to make it.
It's fine, right? Wrist injury, haha, whatever. He might not be playing week 9, and instead Promise Q might come in and take some time so he can rest his wrist. We don't know for sure yet. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But if that happens, maybe an opportunity for some teams to take a win off G2 if they're going to try some new things or have this new support step in. Might not be full strength G2, and then we'll have to see what they can do after they get their bye week. So who knows? It's going to be a long time before G2 plays with their full roster again. Could be a weakness going into actual playoffs.
Oh my God, so much implications this injury means. But before we get into all of that, why don't we take a look at the NALCS with all the highlights.
Second side of the finish line, going for Moon, but he's got the stopwatch, he's got the stone plate, he's buying a lot of time, and here comes the teleport, going down the game, and Kennan's gonna try his damnedest to knock down Darshan, but a big chance comes through, Draven finally catches it, here comes LeBlanc, they've got Otto in as well, and he's gone, but the Golden Guardians are now on the opposing Nexus turret freak, they're going for the end themselves, Inhibitor respawns, they have to take that down first, but can they stop this TP? They do! LeBlanc on the teleport, it is over, and Golden Guardians retain control. They're on top of the club, and GGS are alone in 4th place. Level 1, now level 2, but he has the red buff. He's going to have the first knockup.
Oh,
There's no flash. He misses. He misses the knockup. Svenskaren's got no way out. PvP, though, here for Licorice on a chase on in, still being slowed down. Just got the shield. Oh! What a play. Here comes Stopwatch. Here comes Core JJ. And would you believe it? They've got a taste for Licorice. They've all shown up. When can they pull the trigger? Sneaky trying to make something happen, trying to get Baron to aggro and reveal himself over the wall. Are you kidding me? The fight can use the other side of this map as they find a knockup in for Licorice. It's a 1-for-0 so far. The shockwave, and it will find 2 kills now. Licorice on the run. It's an ace, and Team Liquid are well and truly the best team in North America.
Down the bot lane side, Vulcan tries to make the play. JJ is going to be taken very low. Piglet trying to get the return kill. Barely secures it with the Acathian Rain, but one more shot from WildTurtle, as now Lyra's the next one on the chopping block. Turtle's going for the Rockets. Super Mega Death Rocket barely going to be escaped from CC coming down from Pobe. Demonte now 1 versus 4. It's him against the World. Viper going into the pool once more. Santorin auto attacking the Nexus, looking to take this one down. They will not defend, and FlyQuest finds the win. It's going to be flash for flash already. Santorin using his flash now as well. This will surely be first blood. Cashing in on that one as Hakuo is going to be knocked up into the air. More damage comes to WildTurtle. Running and gunning, baby. That's another kill going over to FlyQuest. As now Phoenix and Panda have to try to get themselves away. There's a reason pandas are endangered species. The damage comes out. FlyQuest not needing that last lane of inhibitors. Looking to make the fight happen. They've already blown up the enemy AD carry. Apollo's out of the picture, and now the Lamster's fight is down. Multiple members from FlyQuest going to be taken very low. They finally got the Jax. However, Echo Fox do not have the tools to fight back. The Stasis is going to keep Hope Belter alive. WildTurtle's going to keep on popping off. There comes the damage. There go the Rockets, and FlyQuest will end this game 23 minutes in.
Now that we recapped a pretty hectic week of the LCS, I think it's time to call up our friend Jason WildTurtle Tran. Hey, how's it going?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, you're looking good. Yo, it's been a great weekend for you, huh?
Yeah, pretty good, I think. Got 2 wins somehow, but yeah.
Yeah, not too bad. What do you mean somehow? You played amazing.
It was pretty dominant when you look at it going back. Like that was a really strong performance from these guys. I mean, sure you can say that it was maybe bottom of the standings teams, but you take wins however you can get them.
That's true, yeah.
So after the weekend matches, how are you feeling? You guys are on the upswing now, right?
Hopefully, I think we are improving a lot faster week to week now than we were in the past. I think prior to this week, we weren't really improving as fast as we could have been. And I think that's due to the fact that we put a bigger focus on our macro game.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it definitely shows off. The early game was looking a lot better, too. I mean, Centauran was popping off in the early game, getting early leads. But one thing specifically I want to ask about, Turtle, is Jinx. You played it twice, which is pretty unusual because we haven't seen a ton of it. So what makes Jinx that champion now that's like your go-to?
I mean, I've always played her in the past, and I was just trying her a little bit in scrims and a little bit in solo queue, and it seemed like she was a pretty good champion. So I was like, maybe we can give this a shot, practice, and then it ended up doing pretty well for us. So just picked it ever since.
And even on top of that, like every champion was open. You could have played Lucian, you could have played Draven, but no, it was Jinx. Is that just like the 9.3 changes to Infinity Edge and all that stuff making it so much better?
I mean, so I worked the first day for us on Saturday. Like, our Jinx play was really good on the previous day, on Saturday, so we decided, like, hey, why don't I just play Jinx again, and probably look the same, so kind of did.
Wait, but second day, didn't he blind pick it? Like, you blind picked it, right? Jinx. Like, isn't that a little cocky?
So, yeah.
Some might say that's cocky.
I don't know. I was just trying it out.
Damn, that's classic.
It works.
I mean, one, so, you know, it's super fun.
Wait, what was the coaching? Like, how was the coaching reacting to, you know what, you were like, I want to play Jinx. It's been good. Like, were they really supportive of it?
I think they were the ones that kind of pushed for it anyway. I mean, we were just sampling it in scrims, and it looked pretty good. So it's like, okay, let's just keep trying it and see how it works. And the coaching staff really liked it. I think they like it more than me, so.
Well, honestly.
Apparently he had a different reason, though, in his interview, didn't he, Lisa?
Yes. So I remember on the stream after, I think, the first day, day one, you won the game. And in the post-interview, you said that you picked Jinx because your team is bad and you have to scale. Did you?
Kind of.
Why are you flaming your team?
I mean, it's kind of like our team is still working on like a lot of issues. I think we haven't really proved ourselves, at least like ever on stage. Like, sure, we had like a pretty good early season, but none of our games were really dominant, and we just weren't really playing extremely well. So I would say, from outside perspective, it seems like we're playing fine. But from our perspective and our team perspective, I think we had like a lot to work on. Even in our wins against Clutch and Echo Fox, we still had like a lot of issues that better team would exploit. So.
I mean, even that, though, you guys had the fastest game of the split, which is really impressive. But prior to this week, I mean, FlyQuest kind of had a 4-game losing streak, which is obviously tough. But this week, the huge turnaround. So I know you alluded to the macro earlier. Is that really just what caused it, or are you just starting to mess with the rest of your teammates as well?
No, I think it was due to our macro focus. I think all 5 players now are trying to work on like what they could be doing better on the map. And overall, it's just made our team a lot better, I think.
Jason, you know, you're a very positive guy, but it's probably not easy, you know, going through a losing streak and trying to keep the team environment positive. So what was the mood like, I guess, the past couple of weeks, and how did you guys kind of turn it around?
I think the mood has kind of been a little bit more urgent. I think our coaching staff and the players feel a little bit more urgency to perform now, and I think that's what was missing from us earlier. And overall, I think that was like the biggest shift in this week to the next week. We just have like a better sense of urgency and like cracking down on player mistakes, I guess.
Yeah, there's only 2 weeks left, so obviously the urgency at an all-time high, and it's a tough schedule for FlyQuest. I mean, for you guys, you have Team Liquid next week, Cloud9 in the following week. So Team Liquid specifically, because this team has shown that they're the top-notch in NA. What do you guys have to do, and where do you think you can attack Liquid specifically going forward?
I think it's just like play our style still, like play what we know and just be confident in what we play. I think that's going to be our biggest key, beating Liquid, because they're really good at their own style already. They kind of established the way they want to play. And for us, we're still like finding a team identity. So I think, well, we kind of found it now, like after this weekend. So we're going to try to figure something out with that and push on.
Honestly, I always look forward to seeing WildTurtle and Doublelift go against each other, just because when I got into League, that's kind of been the rivalry. When you guys, you know, CLG Doublelift, TSM WildTurtle.
Yeah, that was the thing, yeah.
That was big, and also Jinx is a huge thing too, to see who's the better Jinx, you know what I mean? Turtle, what do you got to say to that?
I don't know. I mean, it's not a hard champion, I'd say, but, you know.
Trying to keep it modest.
I want to see it. Want to take it into Doublelift and Core JJ? That'd be pretty ballsy.
Maybe.
Maybe.
He doesn't want to leak strats.
No,
he can't leak strats. All right, do you want to break out, I think Cloud9 and Team Liquid played this weekend, and that was a big match.
That was the match everyone was looking at, Turtle. So it was Team Liquid versus Cloud9, and of course, Team Liquid came out with a pretty convincing victory, taking down Cloud9. I don't know if you were able to watch the match, but what do you just think of, you know, Team Liquid and Cloud9 and the way that these two teams look like they're far and away the top in NA?
I kind of think C9 kind of beat themselves on their game. I think they underperformed that day. Karen, I think he kind of gave first blood really easily to Liquid, so I think that definitely messed up their early game a little bit. And even then, C9 managed to come back, but they also made like another mistake at the Dragon play. So it's unfortunate things. I did think C9 was a lot better than they showcased, but TL managed to do less mistakes on the day.
That's totally the playstyle that you can kind of see. Cloud9 is a team that's willing to take those risks and go out there, and sometimes it backfires. Exactly like you were saying, Turtle. Svenskeren just like overdived the mid turret, gave first blood to Jensen, and then that's really all it takes. And even then, there was another overdive that gave Team Liquid 4 kills, and it got pretty ugly. So, and for TL, they just play kind of constant, and they're like the risk-averse team. Do you think that's gonna hurt them down the road, Turtle? They're just like so just playing safe and calculated. Do you think they need to take more risk going forward, or is it just enough to win in North America?
I mean, it really depends. So, like, if a team is able to exploit them a little bit more, then they would have to change their playstyle. But what they're doing right now works for them, so they don't really have to like change anything until it like stops working for them.
That's true. But the issue with that mentality, isn't it, like on an international stage, then they're kind of not ready for it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is, but that just means our whole region just isn't good enough. That's pretty much how it is.
I mean, it's a tough spot, but like, what can you do? You can only really scrim against the teams.
Honestly, I don't even know. Like, I think like it's not like any other teams are looking like that insane either. Like, we're gonna just have to wait till like MSI to see who the best international team is.
That'll be exciting.
It's tough.
Can we talk about another team that I really want to get into?
Oh, no.
100 Thieves.
Oh boy.
Okay. So.
Oh wow, they're out of playoffs now.
Oh, is it official that they're out?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know if it's mathematically official, but I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, listen. The start of the season, I was already like ready to check out with the jersey, like in the shop. Like I was ready to go in on 100 Thieves. Sorry,
Turtle. Sold out of merch already, so you're okay. All right.
I was like a fangirl, ready to go for 100 Thieves, but they just. I don't want to swear. Shit the bed. I'm going to say it. Shit the bed.
A couple
real
times.
hard. So what is going on? Like from your perspective, when you see them play, what's happening?
It just seems like they don't know how to play the map, even though, I don't know, it just seems like they don't know how to play the map.
But the roster, like...
The roster was great. I mean, you bring in Bang and already everyone just loses their mind, right? But
yeah, that was like kind of the same. I mean, the thing is, like, you can never shine as a player if you're not playing, like, the team game properly. And the only reason you can like look good as a player is if you're already playing the map and just playing the game the right way. That's pretty much how it is.
A lot
like
of
normally when I feel like I'm in my best individual shape, like my games don't even look that good because our macro is a little bit off. So if you fix your team stuff, you can start fixing the other stuff.
That's interesting. Well, I mean, a lot of it looks like it's kind of a macro like issue with 100 Thieves. They're all over the place. They're not on the same page, which makes you question like Aframu. Isn't he supposed to be the shot caller? He's a veteran. Is it a language barrier maybe? Like I know Bang kind of knows English. Like
I mean, it totally could be because Bang is Korean, some days Korean, and then I think even then you start to lose faith after a while. Even if you're playing with Aframu, it's been a while since he's actually been playing at a top level. So I get a little concerned, and you can totally see this team is like totally disjunct. Onda is like engaging and insta-dying, and then the stuff going on across the map. It's weird. Do you think?
What's the coach doing? Isn't
probably help?
Probably what's going on? You know?
Yeah, I honestly have no idea what's going on with that team. I don't think I should comment on it too much because I just don't know. So
he's more willing to shit on his own team than to shit on another team.
That's fair.
I mean, it's because I know my team really well, so I don't really know 100 Thieves that well. I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes for them.
All right, let's stop talking about them. It's making me upset.
It's making you upset.
Let's talk. Oh, Silas. Let's talk about Silas. That was a big thing this weekend. You said that it's not allowed to be played in competitive right now, right?
Yeah, they took it away from competitive. So how did that affect you guys this week? Because I know it's been a pretty popular pick in the past couple weeks, and now it's just totally gone.
I mean, I can't talk about it. That's leaking stretch. I can't talk about it. So this.
You can't be like, it really fucked us over, because that's all we went in on.
Well, I mean, it can only fuck you over so much if you went 2-0. So just ban Silas forever.
True. Maybe it actually helped.
Question mark? Who knows?
All right. Well, that's enough of any LCS talks. I do want to look at the LEC. So before we get into it, Turtle, sit tight. Let's take a look at the highlights that we got. Let's look at it.
Jankos is just around the corner here, but Xerxes on his way as well. Chachi trying to turn it around as Jankos goes in with the wall of pain. There's Klaxon as well. Jankos down, Chachi gets out. That's how you unlock this Renekton. Need to teleport in soon because Caps is going to jump in. Surprise, says Caps. That's 2 down, a third to follow, and it's all on Kami. He takes out one, Chachi's on the break. Can Kami get the boomerangs in? Can he turn it around for his team? The only man who's been on this team the whole time is Kami, and it's a party for Splice because they ran through G2. Splice cleared it up. They stare down G2, and they will take down the top team in Europe.
But they have to be so careful.
Whoa, crown shot. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Self-made goes golden. It's up to Crownshot. He's opening it up. Cole jumps onto the back line. He gets Crownshot. Minty's still alive. Patrick's still alive. OG somehow still alive as New Dum falls once again. Empyrean has nowhere to go. Can't get away from Cold. I mean, Arjun run away, but Arjun's just staying in the base at the same time. Alvari and Newtucker in here. SK ran away from their own base and maybe sacrificed the game. Origin continue their climb up the NEC table with a dominant win over SK.
Ooh, Bweppo manages to connect a full combo into Soaz. Flash is available for Soaz. He's down to 100 HP. Slice and Dice is not available just yet. One more hit from Bweppo is all that's going to be needed. First blood. Efficient. This will cause both teleports to be used. Flash is forward from Fnatic. The culling is used. Featherfin is down. He had Flash available. He didn't get to use it. Now Soaz is running for his life. He's stunned up, locked down, caught out. And Soaz will try to get some damage, but it simply will not matter.
A spot is on the horizon and Fnatic over the fight.
Oh, Fnatic going for the dive! They've got Hyubsama! They killed him under his tower! Reckless is unstoppable at 5-1 and 5! Fnatic truly are back in the fight for playoffs and the finals! Okay, I take it back. Maxwell has pulled the trigger, but it's onto Memento. Featherfin gets slept by Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Cataclysm dumps out, and Featherfin gets dunked. The damage on Hyubsama. He's backing away. There's a million red stacks on the Baron, but the red can't be popped. Memento and Odo, the combo for a triple kill. Baron is still available to be secured. Here comes Upset for one. Misfits, they're done. They're dead in the water.
This is just frankly frustrating to watch if you're a Misfits fan. You're watching your team slowly lose the game.
Man, Odo Omni, dodge, dip, duck, dive, Cataclysm from Memento. Legendary 11 kills on the trot. Make that a double. And Schalke are 1 foot closer to playoffs. Broken faces from Soaz. Schalke take down Misfits.
All right, Turtle, I know you've been busy with NALCS, but we do want to get your opinion on some things that have been happening in Europe. So first off, why don't we talk about Fnatic, because I think that's the biggest story that's come out of Europe, right?
Yeah, and Fnatic's kind of like in an interesting, very similar situation to FlyQuest. I mean, FlyQuest started off the season well, but Fnatic just had they started 0-4, and now all of a sudden they won 6 straight. They're 9-7 now. So how does a team go from struggling at such a widespread level to all of a sudden finding their form and looking like one of the best teams?
I think it's due to a lot of the patch too. I think they probably learned a patch really quickly and were able to keep up with the patches. I think that is what makes a good team right now, just being able to play on every single changed patch, because it's all pretty big right now. And I think for Fnatic, they kind of just lucked out and found like their play style in a certain patch and are able to just capitalize on it now.
That's so great to
And like one thing specifically, they lost Caps, right? That's their star mid laner. Surely that's going to take a long time to recover from. How long does it take to just like plug and play someone completely new to a team? Like Nemesis came in, replaced Caps. How difficult is it?
He's a rookie too, right? It was not like he had
exactly.
that
He's
much
brand
experience.
new to the LEC. How much do you think that affected Fnatic in the early weeks?
Probably just a little bit. I do think like EU has such like talented mids that everyone is like pretty much around the same level. You gotta kind of just play around your mid laner well, and that's pretty much how Europe is, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
you're really good at playing around mid.
We've seen like Abadaga come in for Schalke. We've seen Humanoid for Splice, and they just have so many mid lane guys. So even for you, you had to bring in Pobelter off the streets after Team Liquid went with Jensen.
Yeah, it's not like he was homeless. Well, I guess.
Well, okay, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. It's fine. It's close enough.
Poor Pobelter.
He'll be fine. So what was it like to incorporate Pobelter? I know you kind of get along.
They played together on Immortals, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you guys are homies.
So was it like, did you have to fill that bridge of struggling to incorporate a new mid laner, or was it just kind of natural going back to the Immortals days?
I mean, I think it's always natural nowadays to plug and play players. I don't think like synergy does matter a little bit, but I don't think it's like that hard if the player has like played some competitive games before. So.
You know, I always wondered what it would be like, the scene. Imagine if you sign a player, you have to keep them for like 2 years. Because I know some players are now signing long contracts, but you still see a lot of changes mid-season or like after a season. Do you think it'd be beneficial to kind of have that like 2-year minimum you have to play on a team, just to let it grow and breathe, you know?
Maybe. I mean, probably. I've been on FlyQuest for 2 years or something, so.
That's true. And TSM for a long time. Like, I feel like you're a long-term. You're a commitment guy.
He likes the long-term relationships.
Yeah. So it seems.
It's so weird though, because even teams now, it's like if you struggle after one split, it's like, oh, we need to make a change. There's no time for error, and especially for a team like Fnatic, who's always, they expect the greatness. If you don't win, then you're doing something wrong. So it's definitely tough to actually try to build something when winning is the expectation, especially in a 10-team league, right? It's hard to make that.
I think in particular, like, Reckless has always been obviously the face of Fnatic, and he's so hard on himself. Turtle, have you gotten a chance to like talk to him, and like, are you guys good friends or anything? Just playing at international competition.
I met him before at events. We don't really talk much. We just say, yo, what's up?
He just seems so hard on himself. Yeah. And I guess, I don't know, as a player, like, being in his position, who I guess has been so close to the top, the very top, and haven't been able to actually make it, like, how do you relate? Like, can you relate to that feeling?
I mean, for sure. I think everyone that plays competitive video games always wants to win. So if you're not able to achieve like even a title, it's pretty sad as a pro player, you know.
Especially when you have the expectations like that on you. You just have to, like, no jokes, no fun. The opposite of NA, the NA is the fun league, apparently.
Opposite of NA. Why are you flaming Europe like this?
That's the meme. I'm not flaming. It's the memes, okay? It's Reddit memes. It's not my fault.
All right, let's move on to another team, Misfits, who's actually, they're known for flaming each other and other teams a lot.
I mean, they're looking true to their name right now. It's pretty ugly.
Is it? Why? Explain to us, what's the situation with Misfits?
So the Misfits started out really strong. They brought in Gorilla, who obviously has a huge free agent pickup, kind of like Bang into 100 Thieves. Everyone's hyping up Gorilla to Misfits, and it hasn't worked down the stretch. They've really been struggling, and now it seems like other teams have a sense of how to play them. Hyubsama is their main carry, but now everyone's just banning Lucian and Draven and winning. So I know for you, Turtle, obviously, you can play a lot of different characters, but how bad of an idea, and like, it's just weird for a team to not have these backup strategies. Everything they try to play doesn't work. So for you, how do you go about like mastering different things and having different win conditions on a team? Because for Misfits, they have the one way to win, and other than that, it's been losing.
Or Hyubsama.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to practice like a certain way you want to play. That's pretty much what it is. You just practice a certain way you want to play.
Does the team make you go like, okay, you got to come with like 5 champions that you're comfortable playing, or it's like, do they implement actual like strict guidelines, like you have to come with this many champions?
I mean, it depends. If a champion's OP, they'll like make sure you play it no matter what. And if you can't just play as a player, then it's like a crutch to the team, and that's pretty much just how it is.
So it's kind of patch dependent. Yeah.
I think it's been especially tough too for some players because it's it's not just AD carries anymore. It's like Cassiopeia, it's Aurelia bot, it's Yasuo bot. I know, like, what was that transition like for you to have to pick up mages and bruisers? Because I know some players like Hyubsama hasn't excelled as much as others have.
I mean, sorry, what was the question?
What was the transition like for you, switching to not just playing AD carries, but also mages and bruisers in the bot lane?
I mean, it's certainly not too hard for me because I've played like solo lanes in the past. But even then, like, I think you should play AD carry in the AD carry role anyway. I think that's it. I don't think the meta has shifted away from being AD carries because it's still heavily AD carries.
And one thing in EU, I mean, there's a lot of top tier teams. You have G2, you have Vitality, you have Fnatic, you have Origin, and it's just the competition at the top is incredibly high. Why do you think EU is so competitive compared to like North America, where it's just, it looks like Team Liquid and Cloud9, and then there's a bunch of teams at the bottom of the standings?
I just think it's like the solo queue difference. EU just has like higher quality of solo queue games, and I think NA, the quality has like slowly gone down and down every single year. Don't know what it is. It could be just player base. I assume it's just player base, but I'm not too sure.
Whoa, that's such a political answer because maybe all of you aren't like higher in competitiveness. It's just they're all equally bad, so it's closer. You know what I mean? Okay, is that mean?
No, it's
I'm
fine.
just saying. I don't know. EU has really gone kind of more south.
It's hard to argue though with their like international results, whereas North America is like it was just Cloud9 with that crazy semifinal run. And other than that, it's been rough. But one thing too is you see all these like European players get more chances. Like you have so many rookie players this year, whereas in NA it's just like imports after imports.
Yeah.
Do you see these people in like academy that could potentially get opportunities in LCS teams, or is it really the talent pool that slim in North America?
I mean, there has been like a lot of instances where you do play your academy players in LCS. I think academy players do move up. I think JJ was one of them. Viper was one of them. Like, there's definitely a ton of academy players that move up. So the system is definitely working.
And we saw a couple more this week too. We saw Soligo for come in for Huhi. We saw Otto come in for CLG. A couple of guys there. Do you think it's going to be the trend going into the last couple of weeks with a bunch of these teams now kind of, you know, not looking too good for playoffs? Are we going to see some new faces?
I mean, yeah, if a team's not looking too good for playoffs and the player doesn't want to play, a player on the team doesn't want to play, they'll probably just sub him in anyway. So it's a good time to see how good your rookies are anyway. So.
All right, let's wrap up the EU talk. So right now, just based on the standings, what's it looking like? Who's in playoffs? Who's at the top? Who's at the bottom?
Yeah, so G2 is locked up #1. They're good to go. They're going to be kind of, you know, just smurfing and trying some new things out in the last couple of weeks. And now going down the stretch, there's a couple of close races. SK and Misfits trying to sneak into that last spot. Schalke currently holding 6 by a little bit, and they've been on like a really rough stretch. So it's going to be tight going forward.
Ooh,
it's really close.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Well, we have to first of all choose a player of the week, right? I think you chose one, Matt.
I did.
Who did you choose?
Unironically enough, it's not because WildTurtle's here.
This is totally biased.
No, it's not WildTurtle.
It's biased, but not like too biased.
But it's your teammate Santorin. I think he had a really good week getting you guys going early and some of the macro stuff too. So, Ryu, talk about his performance this week and getting you guys at 2-0.
I think he played really well. His communication like around everything was really solid. Like the way he was using our teammates, the way he was playing the jungle was like, he was pretty much like the backbone of our team when we got both our wins. He made the games very easy for me to play, and I think we are all understanding the game a lot better as a team. So hats off to Santorin.
That warms my heart.
Really solid performances on Nocturne. Looked really good. So going forward, really important.
Ban Nocturne. All right. So we also want to throw to some fan questions because we posted on our social medias. If you guys aren't following us, you got to follow us at Squad States because we asked the fans to submit any questions they had for you, Turtle. And we got, let's see, I chose 2. So let's go to the very first one from 78 Peachy. Who was your favorite support to lane with? Ooh, you gotta pick favorites. You gotta pick favorites.
I gotta pick favorites. Jesus. I mean, I think the best memory for me, at least, maybe not the best, but the best memory and the most memorable support like I played with is probably Lustbo. I think he taught me like a lot about the game at the time because he's from Korea and he was pretty much like the first Korean import or second. Something like that, and then he pretty much just like taught me, or he was like the first Korean support import. So it was cool to see like his perspective and everything he was doing, and his Nami 1v2s like a lot of our lanes. So
what is he doing now? Is he still?
He's the coach for TSM, I think, one of the main analysts for TSM.
Ooh, can't be friends with that. No.
The correct answer was JJ. You always choose your current support.
You fucked up, Turtle.
Nope, I didn't fuck up. JJ knows I like playing with him. He does, for sure.
Oh, all right, let's move on to the other fan question from Benji, a lot of eyes, __. How do you think League of Legends will look like in 5 years from now? Ooh, that's a really
that's a really hard call. I mean, I don't even know what League of Legends would be like 5 years ago. Like when I started playing initially, Season 3, I didn't even know what was going to happen, how LCS was going to develop. So that's an extremely hard question for me. It would just depend on how the game is, if there's no new games, because a lot of new games are coming out now too. So.
Oh, on that note, are you playing Apex Legends?
No.
No.
I'm a League 1 trick. Right here.
Oh, that's loyal. He's loyal.
1 month from now, you can play whatever you want. It's fine.
1 month.
That's true. But I'm a League 1 trick.
All right, Turtle. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys.
It's awesome to hear from you, and hopefully you guys can keep the winning streak going.
Gotta get playoffs.
Upturn.
Yep. We'll carry you guys. Shouts out to Squad.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
All right. See you guys.
Oh, it was so nice talking to Turtle. So great hearing from him.
Always a pleasure.
Right? All right, so Matt, tell us, what do we have to look forward to ahead the next couple weeks?
Yeah, so in EU, I mean, obviously everyone's going to be looking at Fnatic and G2. I know G2 is technically eliminated, or sorry.
Eliminated.
Not eliminated,
They made
sorry.
it.
They've made it, and no one cares about what they do at all anymore, right? Even them, they're probably going to try a couple things and whatever. But
with Mikix gone, we pull out some surprises.
Exactly. Let's see what you can do. But Fnatic's going to want redemption no matter what, and they still have some things to fight for.
Yeah.
The first time these two teams played, it was disgusting. G2 destroyed them. It wasn't even close. So redemption on the line here for Fnatic, and we'll see what they can do. And then over North America, I'm looking at FlyQuest versus Team Liquid, because we just spoke with Turtle. Team Liquid is #1 team. FlyQuest have a big 2-0 week just now. So can they actually fight against Team Liquid? I don't know. We'll see.
I'm cheering for the underdog, let's be honest.
Right?
Right?
I know, always.
We want to see Team Liquid down.
We just said Turtle, biased.
Team Turtle. All right, I think it's time to wrap it up because that's all the time we have. Once again, thank you so much, Turtle, for joining us today. And tomorrow in eSports in 30, we actually have Overwatch League Talk with special hosts AJ and Ron. Of course, you guys don't forget to follow us on our socials at Squad State. We're everywhere on that. So make sure to follow. We're going to wait for you there. All right, so while we've been chatting with Turtle, guess who's been gaming in the freaking lounge?
Brody, Marissa.
I said lounge. It's Marissa and Brody. Let's see what they've been up to.
Hey Lawler, Apex on console. Freaking yikes. Yo, that's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying, dude. Yo, Gibbs plays on console though. He's a madman. Lie above.
Love you. Oh my god, Lawler, I love you so much.
I'm about to spawn you right now.
Oh my god. No, don't you dare.
Oh my god.
Are you serious?
I told you. I called it. I saw the play developing in my head.
Let him call his shot? Oh my god. And now Carlton's, oh god.
Well, that was some interesting gameplay. I'm excited to see more of it. Remember, we have gameplay coming to you live from the Green Room every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to check that out. The fun continues tomorrow because we have another installment of Unmuted where our two hosts will be giving their hot takes on the latest stories, as well as eSports in 30. We'll be really breaking down the latest in Overwatch. Now, that's it for us here, but remember you can tune in to all of our socials at Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Squad State. Now, I'm gonna go, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.